What's up, everybody? Welcome in to the right side of campus. It's Tuesday, June 5th, 2018. I'm your host, the big man on campus, here with my co-host, Donnie Rightside. Donnie, how you doing today?
Doing good. Another day, another dollar. June rolls on here. Got some nice weather in the Northeast. Yesterday a five-game card in Major League Baseball. One or two of which of that five were double headers between the Yankees and the Tigers. Some interesting lines talked to us yesterday, Jeff, that we'll go over in the show today. But full baseball card on a Tuesday, but no hockey and no NBA on the schedule today.
Yeah, the five-game baseball card was pathetic. I mean, that should never happen. That never happens. I don't know why that happened yesterday, but welcome into everyone. Hope you enjoy the show. Do me a favor, hit the like button. Let us know you're out there. Say hello. Also, if you're in or on Twitter, retweet the show if you see it. It's a great way to get it out there and grow it to people that might not know it's on right now. The right side of campus is a recap show. We recap what happened the day before, talk about some of the things that are happening today and what we have on the card. We'll get into that more. We'll also, Donnie, get back to some top five lists today. Now, listen, very easy rules here. Do not say this now, listeners. We don't want to hear these now because they're going to disappear till we get to it. We're gonna. Well, you know what, Donnie? I'm not even going to dispel the list. We're just
No, that's
wait.
why it
Till
says
a little
top
bit.
five list. So you actually don't even know what the top five list is. That's the whole point.
Yeah, correct. We are promoting Intertops. Make sure you check it. Intertops, one of the best books in the business. Great, sleek interface. And I will tell you this: very sleek interface. One of the best interfaces in the business. I've used Intertops before. Good book, easy to use, good bonuses, good customer service. Been online since 1996. They have all sorts of great things to use. Just a good overall book that I'd recommend. So make sure you're checking out Intertops if you're in the market for a new book. Let's get into the show. Welcome in Armin, Antonio, Larry, Chris, Kingsley, James, Sonny Vega, Scott Kaler. What's up, Scott? How are you? Scott Kaler from Anaheim. Wow, very early in
Mm,
Anaheim. Good to see you. Anaheim
celebrating.
Mighty Ducks. Yes. Bruce Chad. Bruce Chad. I didn't know you listen to the show anymore. You don't come in here much anymore, Bruce Chad. Settle down, Bruce Chad. Sonny Vega, what's up? He says, let's crush the NBA 11 a.m. tip off. I won't be on that, but good luck to you. Bryce Fidel is in Fullerton. He's in California too. How about that, Donnie? A lot of California
Hmm.
people tuning in. Who says people
Yeah,
don't listen to the
early.
show on the West Coast?
Exactly, early.
Good for
Yeah.
them. Uh, Brad, what's up? Let's get into the show here. We'll start off with the um, Philadelphia Eagles. They're in the news. They have been disinvited to the White House after many Eagles discussed that they would not go to the White House if they were asked. Again, listen, this is a choice. Look, if you don't want to go, you don't go. I have not seen a team be disinvited to us. I didn't know that the White House was President Trump's hotel. He could just tell people who can and can't go to it, and he disavows people. But either way, the Eagles, Donnie, instead of going to the White House, will be going to OTAs. Now, that's good news for the Eagles because that means they're just going to go and practice. What do we have to go to for a photo opportunity for? No need for it. Let's get back to business and let's go ahead and try to win another title.
Yeah, no, it's an interesting point of view from all angles in there, but a lot of the I don't even want to say harm or that. I'm an older school guy. Like if I don't like somebody, if I don't like something, I will back channel. I will get my way in the room. I will have a conversation with you. I haven't liked teachers in the past. I haven't liked coaches in the past. I haven't liked bosses in the past. But you know what, Jeff? I get in the room and I say my
He
piece to them
disinvited them.
face to face when I have a chance. Now, the Eagles in this situation, there's a lot of Donovan McNabb still left in the organization. If you don't know about Donovan, he is passive aggressive. The Eagles would have struck this up first round knockout after the Super Bowl when most of the team was saying, I don't want to go to the White House. I don't want to go to the White House. You know what happens after that, Jeff? 2 weeks? Jeffrey Lurie comes out with a statement. Most teams go to the White House. We're going to abstain from it this time. We don't believe, what the president's doing or whatever it is, but we're not going to cause any friction here. We're going to put it out there now. We're not going to the White House. We don't need an invitation. So the Donovan McNabb passive aggressive Eagles show up and say, well, you could go if you want. And then it turns out it's going to be 10 players and 5 players and 4 players. Then you allow Trump to spin it right back on your head and throw the knockout punch himself and say you're not allowed to go. If the Eagles just had their solidarity from day one and didn't accept the invite in February, this would not be a story out there, Jeff.
Yeah, well, Don, I'm not sure if you know, but he disinvited them. So as far as them
Correct.
going to
Correct.
right,
So you're
so
gonna
I mean,
have you're gonna show up. You're gonna show up. You're gonna do work around the D.C. area, but not go to the White House. And he's gonna invite the team to the White House, and 5 people are gonna show up. If it was my birthday party, I would have canceled it as well. But the Eagles could have thrown the haymaker back in March and said, as a team, we voted. We are not going to the White
yeah,
House.
I
But
don't
instead,
really.
they went passive aggressive out there and said, well, we'll send 3 people down to the White House for the celebration. Come on, Eagles, be better than that.
Good message. You know what? You want to screw with us, we'll screw with you right back. We're not going to beg you to go to the White House. Listen, listen. Many people know we're on different wavelengths, Donnie and I, between this. I think the whole anthem protest is extremely. It's taken totally out of context on what it really is for. But again, the Eagles. I do agree. If you're not going to go to the White House, why not just say it for the beginning? I don't really.
Yes.
There's really a major need to like divisively say this or that. But again, these are people that feel very strongly, and you have people in this team that are very strong in the belief. Listen, if it's me, I wouldn't go to the White House from the beginning. But again, be
And
cordial.
Jeff, like getting back to the original point, like people have not gone in the past for their political beliefs. If you have a 55-man roster and 10 people miss it, nobody really cares, or somebody has a dentist appointment or a kid's graduation. But the Eagles could have been front and center with their entire message the whole time of solidarity and we're not going, and nobody would have had a discussion at all, and it would have passed, and nobody would have had a problem. But then you hear the filters, and then guess 4 people show up, Jeff. Now let's put this in perspective. What happens if Wentz is one of the 4 that shows up there and it's in all the photo ops? Does the team now look at him and be like, I can't even believe he's supposed to be the leader of this team. We didn't want to go, and he's down there. I think Trump actually did the Eagles a favor, causing a fractured locker room for the people who actually wanted to go down. So if the Eagles make a run and win another Super Bowl, you might have to send Donald Trump a jersey, just because the fact is, who was actually going down? Who was going to be called, like maybe, if Brandon Graham, which I know he's not going down, went down, would they call him an Uncle Tom in the locker room? Like, why wouldn't you?
But you and I,
if 60% of the team doesn't want to go, that means nobody should go.
But you and I both know this is a childish ploy towards let's tighten up our voter base and let's
Yeah, but it's not even about that. It's not even like if you like
it
one,
is. This
even
is
if you don't like Donald Trump, like Kim whatever Kardashian met up. You can push your agenda if you get an ear from the president. You're going to be 1 foot away from the president, Jeff, where Malcolm Jenkins can say, look, I don't agree with your policies here, but something needs to be done. And maybe he goes, you know what? Let's set up a meeting in 2 weeks here as a nice little summit to air out our differences and grievances. One stroke of the pen from a guy that you don't like can open the floodgates in your direction with money, political support, power. I mean, hell, Jeff, even looking at, we talked about California this morning, right? Jim Brown meets with Bloods and Crips to try to air out the differences, and maybe they can save some lives. The United States and North Korea are going to meet in a summit. Get in the same room. It's the only way you can advance the agenda.
It's not going to ever advance. He has his. Again, I don't. He disinvited them, Donnie. Again, let's make that very clear.
They disinvited themselves. Nobody would have to disinvite anybody. If the Eagles were a strong, willing football team and not wishy-washy, they would have said, thank you, but no thanks. We'll stay in Philadelphia and we'll do charity work around here. And it would have just blown over. But you're getting leaks out of it. And especially, you're right, Donald Trump is egotistical, Jeff. He gets word, hey, by the way, the Eagles legitimately have 80 guys under contract, including practice squad players. 4 of them were showing up. And he's like, you know what? Watch this press release. Stay home. Don't come. He wins in that instance. Cancel yourself.
Yeah, I wouldn't go either. So I'm on board here. I would totally decline. Just like good point by Van Polo. Tom Brady didn't go to the White House. We didn't hear anyone growing up in arms about that. But I don't know. Listen,
I would like
I
if a couple nobody cares if a couple people miss because everybody's not going to agree, and some people have staunch points in there. But a team is a team, right? We're all in or we're all out. What are you guys doing? Well, I'm going to send 2, 3, 4 down there. Is the was Jeffrey Lurie even going down there, or was he sending his CFO down there? What an embarrassment the Eagles turned this into when they could have been the bigger man and said, "We're out. We're going to handle our agenda here in the city."
an embarrassment. You
It's
kidding?
embarrassing what they
You're going
did.
to talk
It's
about
embarrassing what they did.
embarrassments
It's
with Donald
embarrassing.
Trump.
If
You're
the
going to talk
Eagles
about
had a
embarrassment.
head on their it has nothing to do with Trump. I'm looking at I'm an Eagles fan. I'm an Eagles fan first and foremost. Show
Well,
yourself
maybe you
being
should
a
go down
team.
then.
Cancel on them. Cancel on the White House up front and say, we don't believe as a team we should go down there.
Listen,
Not hang 5 to 6 players out there for a photo op. Wentz goes down there. Oh my God, we can't leave. And Wentz and Foles go down there. We got to get rid of these guys. We can't have leaders of the team go down there when nobody believes in it. Cancel on them, and you win with a haymaker round 1. Straight up.
I think you made your point yesterday though too. But he made. Listen, we don't want to go down the rabbit hole here. Um, the choice for truth of the matter is Eagles aren't going to the White House. This is going to be a big deal going forward with the way the NFL is right now. The whole anthem thing. But we'll see. I don't listen. I think for the people that went down there, for the fans that went down there, I think it would have been a bit, kind of good to them to say, hey, listen, we're not going to come down or whatever from the beginning. But either or, they're not going. So that's that. I wanted to get to a comment here. Delaware Park, Donnie, quickly. We didn't throw this into the headlines. Quick story. Delaware is
Yeah.
going to begin sports betting today at 1:30. You're going to accept all wagers. First of all, I am a bit surprised that they're before New Jersey. New Jersey being hung up on all this bullshit for some reason. Hopefully this week they get it going. But exciting times. First state to allow full sports betting in this country. Big day for sports bettors.
Now, Jeff, when you see the New Jersey stuff come out, right? Like, oh, we're pushing for Friday, may not be Friday. You know what that means behind the vaccine? It says, I asked for 15. Now I'm asking for 20 behind the scenes. When that 20 comes, then I'll think about it. So those backroom deals haven't been brokered yet. Those palms haven't been greased up by, MGM and Will Hill just yet. Once those palms get greased up, Jeff, we'll be rolling in dough here in the state of New Jersey. But again, as they always say, Jeff, check hasn't cleared yet for some of these guys.
Mike Leach in the news. We should have got to this story the other day, but we didn't.
I didn't even know
because
about
we
it. Yeah,
did,
talk about it. Go ahead.
we,
Yeah.
we didn't have a ton of time, but it was a weird thing, honestly, and it. I saw it late at night, and I would, I'll set the stage. Okay, it was real late. It was probably 3 o'clock in the morning. I was just finishing up what I was doing, and I was gonna, hit the sack, and I'm laying down and I'm looking at Twitter and just, watching something, and I come across this Mike Leach tweet and it's from Mike Leach's profile. It's his advanced or his verified account, and I don't know if have you seen the video, Donnie, that he tweeted out?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't even know about the
Okay.
story.
You
That's what
didn't
I'm waiting
watch
for
this
you.
at all.
Yeah.
Okay. So
No.
basically, he tweets out this, and Mike Leach is a very odd guy. Like he's an eccentric character. He tweets out this video of basically it's in a foreign country. I would think like India or some kind of random country of basically these monkeys that they're wild monkeys, but they're kind of like how like if you go to a major city, like there's birds flying around and stuff like that. These monkeys are basically part of like the environment. They're just around, and these monkeys basically attack people. Like they'll attack someone on a
Oh,
motorcycle.
yes, I did see. I actually didn't see he
Yeah, and
retweeted that video, but I did see that
like he
retweet. Yeah.
retweets this. He retweets this video out, and it's like I watch the video and I'm thinking to myself, I can only imagine right now Mike Leach is laying in bed, probably his wife's laying there asleep, and he's laying there laughing his ass off at this monkey thing. And I thought to myself, is this just not funny that Mike Leach tweets this out? And we know why he tweeted it out, just because like he probably thought it was hilarious, and it's just weird, right? Like you're going across this, and it happened at like 2, 3 a.m. in the morning. It was just kind of, I don't know. It was funny, I thought. But you've seen the video, Donnie, right?
Not a monkey was wrecking people like on the street, on
Yeah.
motorcycles. That dude didn't give a damn about it. That was pretty good. He's probably actually, Mike Leach is so crazy that he's probably saying, he watching that video and all of a sudden it's going like, can I get a linebacker to blitz like this? And wouldn't this be crazy? Like this is some sort of like, warfare I can use on the football field. Like he's so twisted in his head.
Yeah, he'll come up with a spider monkey defense or some kind
Yeah,
of
exactly. Like the safety blitzing from the sideline, like on third down or something just wild like that out of this video.
right. It doesn't matter that the transition was easier. It shouldn't matter. New Jersey should have been first, and it's being hung up. It's. I'm not talking about transition. I'm talking about the fact that New Jersey has really dropped the ball and should have had this going quicker. I'm not talking about easiness of
I'd rather them
transition.
get it right though. I would rather them get it right off the bat, but we know how government works, Jeff. It's not an overnight sensation. And if anybody saw anything, I believe it was Mark Leiter or Al Leiter, one of the Leiter brothers up there, had no
No.
idea what he's talking about. Some last ditch effort to derail gambling in New Jersey. It kind of makes me laugh that there's these old school guys saying, anybody can get down $500,000 and bet on a ball or strike. I mean, Jesus Christ, man, give it up.
Yeah, I mean, I first of all, I didn't know you could do that, Donnie. I mean, maybe I was wrong. I didn't know you could bet on if the next would be a ball or strike. Did you know you could do that? Didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, first, I was trying to explain it to people because that's the common generality from like the betting public. Like, oh my God, you're gonna be able to bet balls and strikes. I said, I try to put it in play like,
How could
offshore
you?
markets have live wagering, but there's a hold on it. And I'm talking like you need like a 3.5, 4 minute commercial break of live wagering typically
Right.
just to get your $100 bet approved on that. So now we're going to be so fast in the industry that between a 15-second pitch, we're going to be able to bet billions of dollars between the pitch. Come on, man. Jeez.
Yeah, this is just an awful attempt to like try to derail this. I don't know. First of all, where can he get that kind of money? And second of all, I didn't know you could do that. Again,
Well, imagine just walking into the Borgata and you're waiting for your moment here. If you got the suitcase aside and it's a 3-1 count, but you've been waiting for a
yes.
3-2 count and you sprint, you knock everybody out of line, throw your briefcase on, it's a full count. I bet a strike minus 110. And he's able to log that bet in within the
Oh
15
wait,
seconds.
wait. Look, sorry. Looks like the push already happened. Not gonna happen.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, it's like the roulette wheel when they do like this. You can't bet it. You put in people still trying to slam down bets on numbers out there. Pretty funny stuff.
I mean, does Al does know that they can freeze stuff, right? Like there's all sorts of delays and like, come on, man.
But you saw some
Just
ticket
oh,
takers chiming in saying, Jeff, like, look, we know who the $1,000 bettors are. We know who the 5,000 bettors are because they're rare. Trust me, I think you're not going to be anonymous when you're betting a $500,000 on pitches, man.
Will Belichick, Dottie mad at the world this week. No, he's not. He's passionate in what he's saying. He's not mad at anybody.
What
He's
we get paid to do.
passionate.
What happens if we both came
Yeah,
on here and had
exactly.
fun and just said, "Hey, we
I
can't
always
completely
love
agree
that.
with Trump," or
Yeah,
it's when we have the back and
yeah,
forth is what makes it fun, and it doesn't have to be any
sure.
political. My only point was who was going to win this battle to me. The Eagles could have sunned Trump with a knockout in March. Like we're not even playing with this joker down here in Washington at all. Like we're canceling on him. But you leave the door open, and then for a chance for the president who you don't like or you're going against has a chance to sun you. Sun him first in a fight, Jeff. You're about to square up out there. Are you the guy that thinks it's funny? Like, take your first shot. Half the time you get knocked out if you allow that to happen. Sun the guy first and be done with it. That's all my point is.
We're here to provide quality opinions. We are not going to agree with everything being said. We disagree. That's what makes it fun. If we just sat here and said the Mets beat the Angels last night, it was a great game. That wouldn't be fun at
Or if
all,
I
would it?
or if it was fun if me and Jeff came on here every week, we did an NFL breakdown and told you the Eagles would win by 28 and trust us on it. Come on.
Exactly. Yes. Kyler Murray in the news, Donnie. Kyler Murray should be in the news. Football is going to begin soon, and Baker Mayfield actually discussed that he thinks that Kyler Murray will break his quarterback records at Oklahoma. Listen, Kyler Murray is a great talent, and he's going to make Oklahoma a top 16 probably this year. But the news yesterday was the Oakland Athletics drafted Kyler Murray in the
Yes.
ninth
Mhm.
with the ninth pick. Um, Question is, do you go and play baseball or do you play football? Right now, he says he's not really focusing on that. He's kind of just soaking it all in, whatever that means. Donnie, the question to you is, and I think this is a fairly easy one. What would you do?
Look, now, I'm in my 40s, right, Jeff? So I can play the dad part of it. Lincoln Riley's younger than I am, which is, it shows you how old I'm getting here. Like guys are making, $5, $6 million in coaching in college football that are much younger than me. Jeff, this is a time, honestly, like we see it all. And you know what? You could say what you want about Coach Cal, right? We think he's a snake in the grass, or some people do. But how many times do you see Coach Cal on camera say, you know what? I have the best player in the country. I'm not letting you come back. You're a first round pick. You need to get out there, make your money, and be on your way because it's time right now. Lincoln, I know in Oklahoma fans, you're the same way. No, no, Murray's going to be a great quarterback. We'll have a great football season. Why would he step in? He can always do it after. Somebody actually tweeted me yesterday, Jeff. His slot right now is between $3 to $4 million as a signing bonus to leave and go play baseball right now. Is he going to make a monster, contract or, be the end all be all in football? That's still going to be for debate. But to me, if I'm the head football coach of Oklahoma, and how about if you go into people's living rooms now as a recruiting tool? Kyler Murray was going to start for me. I actually thought he had a chance at a Heisman Trophy. Oakland Athletics drafted him 9th overall. I sat down with his family and gave him no path to come back to Oklahoma and play quarterback for me because this is the best option for you, son, as your future. And imagine going into talking to a recruit, Jeff, #1 overall in the country, and says, you don't think I care about you? I might have the best college football quarterback in the country, and I forced him to go pro because I knew it was better for him and not just for Oklahoma, the team, and myself. Let him go, man. Convince him to go play baseball. The kid's going to break bank. He's probably going to be a great baseball player, have a future. And again, Jeff, he's probably going to be able to walk and play with his kids and remember his career once he's done through baseball.
No, I agree. I agree. But you know what, Donnie? You look at it like this. He's 18 years old, probably. You got to let the kid make his own decision. I hear you. If it's my decision, it's not a decision. I would totally go play baseball. You're going to make a lot of money. You already have a ready-made market for you. How do you know
Mhm.
that this year against, Savannah State, you're not going to break your leg and never play again? Look, for me, it's a no question. You make a good point. You're not going to have to worry about major injury long term. You don't have to get hit on every play. Baseball's the greatest sport as far as
Yeah.
playing it and making a
Longevity.
ton of money. Yeah, I mean you're going to make a lot of money. It's easy. Is it a long season? Yeah, but it's not. You don't get
And you
hit.
know, you
You
know
don't
what
have
the
to
other
deal
part
with.
of this is too, Jeff, which baseball does with these top players and how they convince them to actually, not go to college and be drafted directly out of high school, is there's always the caveats in there. Kyler Murray goes, you know what? I was only 6 months away from my degree. I want to stay. Do you know what the Oakland A's are going to do in the situation, Jeff? So you know what? We'll give you the $4 million signing bonus, and on top of that, we'll give you 8 years of any college that you want. You can go 4 years as an undergrad, 4 years in advanced education or secondary education after that. We'll pick up the entire tab if you come play baseball and it doesn't work out. You still get your signing bonus money, and then you can go back to school. We'll pay for it completely. Happens all the time. Please, son, choose baseball in this spot, please.
Kyler Murray's a junior, right? So, Donnie, you know who he reminds you of in football? And I remember
Who?
hearing about how great he was. Kenny Hill. I remember hearing how great Kenny Hill was going to be
Yeah,
at Texas,
Trill.
at TCU. Yeah, he's going to be the best player at TCU, and he was he was average. He was more or less poor. I mean, he threw a lot of interceptions. He was not accurate. Um, I just don't understand why you would take a ready-made market that you have. You have a team that's willing to pay you. You have a team that's willing to put their future into you with the ninth pick in the draft, and you'd
Jeff,
rather
by the
go
way,
play
Guan says
football in
what I
college.
actually don't know. I didn't read this. What position does he play, Jeff Kyler Murray, in baseball?
In baseball, I want to say he's a
He's got to be an
center.
infielder, right?
No, he's
Is he
no,
a
he's an
center?
infielder.
Probably a
He's a
center fielder.
shortstop. Short,
Yeah. Yep.
shortstop,
Figured. Yeah.
shortstop and
Figured. Yep.
second.
Figured.
Yeah, so he's quite dynamic. He can play both positions. Listen, it's not even like certain people, Donnie, talk about all the time. Like you can, everyone has an opinion. Well, listen, when you present fact to someone, there's no opinion necessary. It's not an opinion. I could come out and say, listen, Donnie, the sky is red every fucking day. No, it's not. It's blue, generally, or gray. It's never going to be red. Stop with that stupid. That's not an opinion. That's just you talking stupid. There's no case you can make here that this isn't a bad idea. It just isn't.
Yeah, he's up on the script.
Uh,
5'11", 195. It actually does. It just says
Perfect.
bats right. It doesn't actually say his position. But getting back to Kyler Murray now, somebody brings up a good point. Who was it in here? Kevin says that he said he's already going to play football. He's got a smart agent and a smart family behind him, Jeff, because when you get drafted right away, not the easiest thing to say is, I'm just going to go play baseball. Cool, we got this guy hook, line, and sinker. How about you threaten, like you ever see like how this plays out, Jeff? Like the number 5 overall pick who's about to get, let's just say $4 million as a pitcher, but he signed to Wake Forest. How many times do they literally, Jeff, get in their car and start driving to Wake Forest before the team knows they're serious and says, all right, $3.5 million, we'll go to $4.5 million. Done, I'm turning the car around. He has a good negotiator behind him, and credit to him, because if you can use this to your advantage, if you remember back in the day, John Elway and the Broncos, Colts fiasco with the Yankees, John Elway went to play for the Yankees in the summer to force the Baltimore Colts' hand. Use all the negotiation to your shot, man. Use it all.
Anthony Sauer, you're looking at the fact he can go play baseball in January. It doesn't matter. What if he gets injured in September?
Yeah.
Anthony, it doesn't matter. That is
especially in baseball when you're talking about it. Like, what's the worst thing that can happen to you? Forget about your knee, even though he's built on speed, Jeff. You mess up one of your shoulders. Now you can't throw the ball, or your arm's not effective anymore. Yes, please. No, don't play. I hope he doesn't play and goes on to be a long Major League Baseball career, makes millions of dollars, because it's the right decision. When it comes down to it, I love football. But sometimes your parents and the people that surround you say, look, I know you love football, Kyler. I know you're going to be you worked hard to be the starting quarterback at Oklahoma, but we can't pass this chance up, man. We can't.
There's no way if Kyler Murray will make it at some point. It doesn't matter. They're going to throw money at him.
He's getting $4 million. Yeah, he's going to get $4 million.
Doesn't matter. And he'll find a way to make more money. Like this thing we do. Good point. Alex Cobb makes $57 million a year. Or in his contract, not a year, sorry. If he made $57 million a year, that would be amazing.
That'd be
$57 million he's going to make. So he's probably going to make, I don't know what his exact contract is. I'd have to look that up. But listen, sports is a beautiful business, professional sports. Evan Fournier makes $95 million in the NBA. I mean, there's Chris Davis is going to be paid till 2017. By the way, Donnie, this year, Alex Cobb will make $14 million. Quite amazing. To be absolutely horrible. Let's move on. One final story here. Sixers looking foolish. Donnie, I got to tell you, I've not changed my tune on this, but after hearing what I heard yesterday, I'm a bit more confident. I do think they're going at it as far as they have this law group that's hiring these cyber intelligence people. Listen, I think it's important to get to the bottom and present valid proof of who this was and what happened here. I think it's rash as an organization. I mean, not for nothing. We aren't at a crisis point just yet. I think the next 2 or 3 days, you got to get this figured out. If this isn't taken care of by the middle of the week, we have a problem. Okay. If this is going to linger for forever and they're going to find a way to spin this and keep Brian around, fine. That's not what I want. I want to make sure that they presented a front that this is what happened. We've hired these cyber intelligence people to figure it out. We went to great lengths to figure it out. Brian was not involved. This was some profile in Missouri that hated him, and they spinned it like this. If they find it was him, then it worked. I don't really mind a couple extra days. Right away, I was annoyed, and I was like, let's do this, take care of it. But hey, Donnie, we know technology. It's a pretty amazing thing. Maybe it wasn't Brian, but at the end of the day, how do you know those things? I think it is him, and I think it'll be proven that it was someone in his family. I don't really necessarily hate at this point it taking a couple extra days if you are going to go to the lengths to make sure we figure out who it was.
Yeah, but a lot of the times in this, though, Jeff, the image is the problem here when we're talking about the NDA and doing what you do. You're convicted in a court of public opinion, you can never make it back. Because let's play the scene for the Sixers out behind the scenes, ownership, like front office wise, right? They're looking forward to, hey, we got a good young core, we're moving forward. Hopefully we win an NBA title. But now let's play devil's advocate here, Jeff, with the Sixers. Let's say LeBron doesn't come now. He didn't come because Colangelo was here. We can't get Paul George, or we can't get one of the free agents, or now another draft goes by where the player's not working out, or maybe Markelle Fultz never recovers from his head injury that he currently has. Now what's that going to look at with your fan base the next 2 to 3 years, where they will never let you live down Brian Colangelo? Now, if we flip it over to the other side, you fire Colangelo, right? And let's just say you don't get LeBron James, Jeff. Well, at least your fan base can say, well, Colangelo might have mucked it up and we didn't have any shot after that, but let's see what this new GM can do. Perception is reality in a customer-based system where if you lose the confidence of your fan base, Jeff, look at every poll. Listen to the radio, polls, paper, everything. People want Colangelo out of here. That is your customers. That is your paying base. Perception is reality. If you move on from him, you get David Griffin, you get LeBron James. You are beloved as an ownership group in the city of Philadelphia because you did the right thing. If you hold on to Colangelo and end up with nothing title-wise or making runs and the Celtics smash you for the next 5 years, they will always hold it against you because never forget, Jeff, the Sixers and their fans went through the process, which was don't even watch basketball for 5 years. It's going to be disgusting. Now you can see the light at the end of the tunnel, and you're going to sabotage it for this. He's got to go to me, Jeff.
No, I agree. I do agree he's got to go. I will never sell that point that he shouldn't. But we have to remember, I don't think you're sabotaging anything with LeBron. LeBron is in the finals right now. He doesn't care what's going on around. Does he probably know about it? Sure, everybody does. But I am confident this will be fixed by the middle of the week. I would think. So I think.
Jeff, why can't? By the way, why can't we get into that business? Like they hire a law firm, so you know what the law
Yeah.
firm's going to do over the next week and a half? Bill the Sixers for about $4 million while surfing the internet and using Google searches out there. Why can't we get in that? The right side of campus.
Hey, listen.
Twitter alert. Like we could Twitter audit you out there to know if you have fake followers. We can do some research out there to see how many accounts that you actually have. We can do this and get paid, Jeff. We don't need to be in the sports business.
If you know about me, I'm fairly good at surveillance, so I'm pretty. I think we could. I think we could figure this out for sure. Listen, Anthony, you're making dumb points, man. Seriously, I mean, you're trying to compare us playing football in high school to Kyler Murray. We also weren't offered millions of dollars to play baseball, Anthony. Donnie wasn't. Neither was I. None of us were. Neither were you.
Jeff was offered 7 figures to go to ESPN, but he was loyal to me and stayed with SBR. So I mean, there are outliers out there.
Exactly. Listen, he should move on and play baseball. It's a lot easier. He'll make a lot of money. What's this love affair with going and play football? What, you can get CTE?
Football's a great game. Jeff, don't get me on a tangent now where I'm going to start talking about life, choices you make through football that help you for the rest.
I know.
Don't get me down that path. You better move it on.
I know. If you don't play football in high school, you're not going to grow up to be anything we're talking about. So listen, let's move on. Okay, yes, Anthony, I know. Listen, let me tell you something, and maybe you don't know this. Do you know why someone's a backup? They're not good enough to be the number one. That's why. If he was really good, he would be out there. I'm not saying.
But Jeff, but he was backing up the number 1 overall pick though, Jeff. Does he get a little bit of salt for that though?
No, he doesn't, because they do this thing in college. It's pretty cool called transferring. You can leave and go play somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? Like, for instance, Shea Patterson is a prime example. If I'm Shea Patterson at this point, I would probably consider playing football. Because for me, Shea Patterson has already shown flashes that he could be absolutely amazing. He's going to a situation where for him it's going to work. Listen, you can transfer. If you're that good, you can go play somewhere else. Listen, again, Anthony, you don't seem to get it. You can transfer, dude. Again, you can transfer. Listen, Anthony, we know what your points are. You have these wild points, and that's fine. I don't agree with them, and I'm not going to back down here. But you have your opinion. Kyler should go play baseball. Donnie, let's move on. Cinderella. This is a quick one. Won't have to spend a ton of time here. Listen, Vegas, they're done. They're not coming back. They're not going to Game 7. They're not going to win. 4-3, and it's not going to happen. I wouldn't be surprised if he loses less in the next game. They're just not as good as Washington, Donnie. That's simple.
Yeah, you came in as a heavy favorite in the series. You had home ice. You had a chance to, put it down 2-0 before you go back to Washington. But it looks like the Capitals are waking up and getting equally good goaltending as what Marc-Andre Fleury provided the first couple rounds for the Vegas Knights. It is nice. You still had a fantastic year out there. Yeah, it hurts if you're a Vegas fan. If you live in Las Vegas or you're in Nevada, you are allowed to be a bandwagon Vegas person or Vegas Knights person. But if you live outside of Vegas and you're trying to order jerseys or cheer on the Knights and you have a hockey club that's probably within 30 miles from your house, You probably should check into it and maybe say, you know what? Maybe I should just get back to my hometown team as opposed to it. But it's good for business. Vegas getting an NHL hockey team, Jeff. Vegas getting the Oakland Raiders. Let's not get it twisted. Helped us a lot in New Jersey to get sports gambling legal because it lifted that notion of we can't be attached to anything in Las Vegas from the professional sports. Thank you to the Vegas Golden Knights. I'll love you for the rest of my life. And the Oakland Raiders for going there and showing us that, oh my God, the city's not going to explode if you bring in actual sports teams there to bet on. So thank you to the Vegas Golden Knights, but they're not winning the cup.
Vegas or Bryce Fidel, Vegas is so unlucky. Yeah, I know. They've seemed it. 9 goals over the last 2 games they've given up. Seems real unlucky to me. Unlucky? What? What are you talking about, unlucky? What is unlucky about what has happened? Can you explain yourself, Bryce?
What
You're
was
just throwing
lucky?
out that they're. Bryce says Vegas is so unlucky as well. What is unlucky about what has happened? They've given up 9 goals over the last 2 games and lost 6-2 and 3-1. What's unlucky about that? That just looks like they're not as good.
It's hard to win the cup. I mean, it's hard. Like the hockey grind is unbelievable, man. They're a really good hockey club, and they're set up for the future, I think, as well. With draft picks and see who they sign or bring back. But they did catch a lot of lightning in a bottle this year to be as good as they were. We'll see if that continues out there. The one thing I hope, Jeff, is it doesn't spoil the Vegas fan base. And what I mean by that is like, oh my God, look at us. We came out and went to the Stanley Cup final. You have super lean years there where you go 5 and 6 years without making the playoffs. I hope those same fans that pack the arena and get loud are with them when they're winning 25 to 30 games in a season.
Comment of the day. Comment of the motherfucking day. Still on headlines? Question mark. When can I come back for picks? This ain't a sports show, bruv. We don't give out 9,000 picks a day. Molly Mal. Sorry, man. We made it clear what the show was at the beginning. We're a morning show. We're here to talk about what's happened. And if you wait, like every other good boy, you'll get picks at the end. I promise. All of you guys are good listeners, and I've seen you, Mal. You're a good listener. All you have to do is wait. We'll get to the picks, my friend. And we will, Donnie, won't we? We get to baseball. We just have a lot to say this morning. You gonna respond or?
No, I was actually talking with my mic muted there, so it was pretty good. Pretty good stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I said, yeah, there's shirts out there floating around that, it's not a sports show, or I thought it was a sports show. Yep, we're nailing the head.
Yes. Exactly. I mean, listen. So let me ask you guys a question. Okay, so yesterday, if we would have just talked about sports, what exactly would we have talked about for an hour?
We
Really?
would have broke down
What are the-
we would have broke down a Yankees game at minus 290 and one at minus 210 and be like, Jeff, I really think in the 5th inning the Yankees can sort of get to Detroit a little bit. What do you think?
Yes. This is fun. We have fun. We'll get.
I love
to it,
this show.
promise.
Yeah, it's great.
And listen, I will say this. I've been on this channel a long time. I've given a ton of motherfucking picks. Like I literally started pick shows on this channel. I was on there Saturdays just going over the entire card, Donnie.
Yep, and I'll say the same thing. I've been on this channel for a long time, and I don't give very many picks.
Yes. Right, exactly. This isn't a sports show.
You get the best of both
exactly.
worlds. You get the best of both worlds. You always do.
Yes. Let's move on. MLB recap. This won't take long either. So here we go. You're not very far away from picks. First of all, also, why do you need my picks to reinforce your own? Like, aren't you confident in your own picks? Do you? I'm no. Listen,
Jeff, they need the fades. They need the fades out there. Give
I'm
them
no
the fades.
elixir. Yeah, I'm no elixir here. I don't have some special potion. And again, if you're waiting for picks from others, I would trust your own stuff, dude. Seriously. I mean, that's just my opinion. But let's get into the recap. Not a lot to recap really here. Let's move that down there, my friend. Let me go to
Yankee first one, Jeff. Yankees split. Split yesterday, the doubleheader.
Yeah, I don't have my phone in front of me sometimes, so I kind of just depend on that and I follow that. Yeah, Yankees split the doubleheader. Big time win in the first game. They roll. Second game. I mean, Donnie, does the team ever win 2 games in a doubleheader? It seems like it never happens, does it?
Yeah, it's if you're looking at saying two teams don't win the doubleheader or sweep the doubleheader, usually they're evenly matched teams. It's very rare you get like a -300 and like a -220 to go back to back. And again, the Yankees, Jeff, in game two, they weren't throwing up the white flag with their roster. Matter of fact, can the Yankees even throw a white flag with how much talent they got on the roster? Even the bench guys come in can dominate out there. So
They should
it
win
is. You're
every game.
right. You can almost guarantee a split. Yeah. Yep.
Yes, they should win every game. Um, uh, Funny comment here. Oh, bring back late night on campus. Yes, Skooma. I agree. We baffle the big man again,
No
Donnie.
thanks.
Remember
I'm
that?
too old for that. I'm
Uh,
already in bed by
we
that.
we
Like,
had some.
see, I was a year and a half ago, I was a younger man out there, Jeff. Now I'm too old for that
Listen,
show.
let me tell you something. We had some good times in that show. That was a fun show, man. Back when we would, we would listen to like voicemails and stuff. That was fun, man. That show. It was just kind of like whatever happened. That was fun. I get called to all sorts of things in that show. Somebody called in and called me a bully. Jeff Nadeau's a bully. He can't handle it. He's mean to everybody. Da 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 da. Meanwhile, that same guy, like 30 days before, was telling me how great I was. Um, Fun stuff late on campus. Judge strikes out 8 times. Judge struck out 8 times yesterday. Listen, for all you fuckhead haters that want to talk shit on Aaron Judge, listen, let me tell you something. 288 average, 16 home runs, plenty of RBIs. Bad games happen. What are you gonna do?
I can't take it as just an old guy, Jeff.
Settle
And I
down,
always like to play the
Donnie.
old guy card. I can't take the AKs. Like it really, like Jeff. I had no money on either one of those games yesterday, and I felt like I needed to take my dog for a long walk when I just see all the Ks out there. Like because it brings me back. Like you can have a little bit of like what's what I'm looking for, not aftershocks, but when guys come back from like the traumatic stress disorder, like I have, because watching games where you have mostly overs in where guys are striking out at a high pace, Jeff, it just sends me like into the atmosphere where I just have to, you know what? As I say, let me load up the car, put a couple sticks of dynamite in the car, and shoot me off into the sun. It pains me, Jeff. 8Ks, it pains. Like I shivered last night in bed, like I had the flu. Like I can't take it anymore. I can't take it.
I will say I would have thought it would have been Judge or Stanton that did this
True.
as opposed to Judge. But listen, listen, Judge isn't playing right now. I mean, I think in the last 7 days he's hitting like 130. He's not playing well. He needs to get it going. But listen, he's having a fine season. And look, like I said, you don't expect him to do it. Keep in mind, Donnie, Judge struck out 8 times in basically, I don't know, 8 hours or so. Joe DiMaggio, during his 56 game hitting streak, struck out only 5 times. So there you go. I mean, put that into perspective a bit. But again, Judge can just blame the new MLB because this is what everyone does. So, it's okay. We move on. Atlanta. Donnie, that line was talking. We talked about it
Yeah.
yesterday. If you bet Atlanta last night, I don't know. Might be time to readjust and look at what you're doing. Because Atlanta, the line just didn't make any sense. I mean, they're
Yeah.
minus 105 or even a plus at one point, plus 105. Why? I mean, they had their best pitcher on the mound on the road. They crushed lefties. But Donnie, you and I talked about it.
Yep. Yes, we did.
Just didn't make sense.
No, we did talk about it, and at least I can get some free McDonald's. I didn't have any like big plays last night, but I just want a little bit of action. You saw a tweet out yesterday, like I don't really want to just go with a public fade and send it out there and see how it does. So took a little bit on the side there, but I did bet two of them at plus money yesterday. One was the San Diego game first 5 run line -0.5, and then also the Giants run line first 5. Just hoping for a split. I was getting them both plus 125, plus 120, just hoping for a little bit of money back. I ended up hitting them both, but we talked about that earlier, just breaking down some numbers on San Diego. It just didn't smell right in that environment. And again, we're talking about those Atlanta Braves teams, Jeff. If you rewind about 3 weeks ago, when 1 through 8, they were stacked. But now you see a little bit of like, you're relying on like, Dansby Swanson's, Charlie Culberson's at this point. You're not going to have Acuna in the lineup at this point right now. So it's a little bit of damage taking away from that Atlanta lineup. Still a very good hitting ball club and had a nice series against Washington. But again, Jeff, what was the other key points? Atlanta flying, all the way across coast. San Diego in the midst of a long homestand there. They're going to be rested and ready for you. Played out exactly the way we thought based on that line movement.
Yeah, let's keep it moving here, Donnie. Quickly, Giants scored 10 runs. They crossed the Diamondbacks. They're playing well right now. Let's get into today's games. I want to get to this top five list here. I think people will enjoy it. Let's get to the games, Donnie. What do we got?
Yeah, and this is the first game we're going to talk about, and I want to bring up a little bit of a preamble last night. Sending out the tweets last night saying, I don't understand why this Danny Duffy game is sitting at 8.5, and they exploded that over. Maybe I was too stupid to finally take, the over in the first five in that game or the full game over in that. I thought there might be some better options today, but then you're getting right back into that environment. I know the Mets do struggle a little bit here, but Cobb is on the mound versus Vargas, and the line again sitting the same exact number, Jeff, 8.5 across the board. Can the Mets wake up? If you wake up versus anybody, you could stack some left-handed bats versus Cobb and get after it. And then you have Vargas on the upside. Hey, he's had a couple great starts in a row. When is his regression going to kick back to where he really is a bad pitcher? It looks like the line in this game opened up at 125, 130 in the favor of the New York Mets. Has dipped a little bit down to about 115, 110, 116, somewhere in that area. Cobb Vargas tonight, Jeff, in Shea.
Yeah, listen, I know that the number is 8.5. I have to just bet over. I mean, if it's 4-2, salute, But with Alex Cobb, I mean, Alex Cobb has been absolutely wretched. I mean, lefties written 422 off Alex Cobb. Right-handers 311. He's been absolutely terrible. And you look at Baltimore. I mean, if they're going to explode as a lineup, it's against lefties. You look at against lefties this year, a 4.6 runs a game, 255 average. If they're going to hit, it's against a lefty. Their rotation's been absolutely heinous as well. I mean, when they're on the road, opponents are hitting almost 300 against Baltimore. I expect both pitchers to have some trouble. Jason Vargas has gotten it going a bit recently, but I think we still know where Jason Vargas stands. And even if let's say he gives up 2 or 3 runs, that bullpen's liable to give up 3 or 4 as well. So listen, I'm going over the number. Alex Cobb, 6 of his 9 starts have gone over. Both these lineups, I'd imagine, would hit. You're in decent positions with both of them. I- Over 8.5 looks like a play you just make. If it's 4-2, you shake someone's hand and say salute. But I think this is a 6-5 type of game.
No, I mean, look, can he fault you? It's one of those games. How many times do we talk about it, Jeff? Me and you go back and forth saying, you know what? I'll take the over and a half. If Vargas and Cobb deal for 7 innings apiece and it ends up 2-1, what do you say? Tip the cap and move on there because the numbers suggest these teams should hit, and you're getting a little bit better hitting weather. So I'm in agreement with you on that, Jeff. 929, 930, Milwaukee and Cleveland. Kluber at home, usually a tough go against him when he's in the mound at home. Gurro on the mound is going to face him on the road. 62% of the early tickets, Jeff, showing up on the Cleveland Indians. Hefty favorite. You're always going to pay for that with Kluber, especially at home, minus 215. If we're taking a look at the total across the board, opened up at 8, Jeff, now down to 7.5. Always tough in these environments because I know Kluber's a really good pitcher. But you're going to get Milwaukee. They're going to be able to stack 9 batters. We all know Cleveland, Jeff, at any given moment can light it up on offense. How about the 7.5 total? How about the huge number, Jeff, 215 out there?
Yeah, listen, when I'm going to get a price like this, a 195, a 200 on a team like Milwaukee, I'm going to go Milwaukee. Listen, this is how you make big bankrolls, bigger bankrolls in baseball. And you lose a unit. No harm, no foul. But I'm getting a price like this with a pitcher like Junior Guerra against a team that's just not consistent. I'm going to go with that other team. You look at Cleveland, same old with Cleveland. They win 4 or 5 in a row, then they lose 3 in a row, and they look bad in doing it. They gave up 21 runs over the weekend in a 3-game series against Minnesota, a team that hadn't been hitting as it is. You give up 21 runs against that team, you only score 10 yourself. Listen, this is a big number. I like Milwaukee. I think they're one of the good teams in the NL. I've been a big Guerra fan his whole career. Since he came into the league, he's been very effective. He's gotten little to no respect. This is a guy, Donnie, in 10 starts, has an ERA at 2.65. His whip is just above 1.1. They're 6-4 when he starts. He doesn't walk a lot of people. He's just an effective guy. Give me Junior Guerra at the big price. I think there's a little, and again, the biggest problem with young bettors, they throw around the word value too much. Okay. There's a difference between value and just trying to justify something that has value. This has value to me. Taking Milwaukee at this price with this pitcher, with their bullpen against an inconsistent team, I'll give it a shot. Though under looks very good as well here.
Yeah, and you know what, Jeff? Okay, we don't have too much time left here, but there's a couple more games we want to hit. I love this next game. I mean, I love it. 919, 920, Seattle, Houston. Two lefties that can deal out there, Jeff, that can strike you out. Looks like Keuchel rounding back into form. Paxton's been great this year, high strikeout volume. Two really good hitting lineups. So we take a look at the numbers, Jeff, and priced appropriately to me. Minus 120 opens up, minus 125 in the favor of the world champion Houston Astros. But that number's dipped a little bit, 117, 119, 120 across the board. They're over under, Jeff, 7 across the board. That tells you how well both of these pitchers are pitching, because both of these lineups can hit, and both of them are now finally getting healthy here. This is a great game. If I'm isolating this game, I haven't broken down the numbers on hitters that are coming up in this game or road splits or home splits just yet for the pitchers themselves. But I got to tell you, Jeff, I see some value here, at least in the first 5 innings, with Seattle getting a plus price with the big maple out there and that lineup now full go.
I'm going to keep saying this. This Seattle team is really good. Like, I'm telling you, this is going to be a team down the road that's going to be a real tough out for some teams. You look at right now, they're hanging right there with Houston. This is a good baseball team, and you're right. They have everybody back. This is big dog day in baseball to me. A lot of nice dogs on the card. Definitely one that I have my eye on as well. But both these teams hit lefties pretty well. You might have a sneaky over here. Keuchel, for the record, I've not been that impressed by Keuchel. Seems like he pitches well, but he always gives it up in some aspect. I'm going to be looking hard at the over 7 here. I think this is a pretty decent play. Both lineups good against lefties. Keuchel can get hit a little bit. Bullpen's questionable at times. I'm going to go over the number here if I have to bet it.
All right, one more game I want to take a look at. Now, this is an interesting one here because obviously the number is going to be high, minus 240, minus 250. If we saw Nathan Eovaldi come back for the Tampa Bay Rays, he was electric versus the Oakland Athletics. Doesn't allow a hit, I believe, through 6 innings of that game, and they were able to pick up the victory there. 925, 926, Eovaldi versus Scherzer. Obviously, he's going to be getting a big number there. Tampa Bay sneaky with the bats here, but obviously always a tough go when you're going against Max Scherzer in this one. The interesting thing, Jeff, a lot of people pointed out last time with Eovaldi's start. I mean, cracking 98, 99, 100 miles an hour on fastballs out there. Maybe had a little bit of pine tar in his glove, so maybe Major League Baseball might be keeping an eye on it there. Eovaldi looked great last time out. Tampa Bay is no slouch in this. Does the number, the price of this number, show any value going towards the Rays? It's not easy to jump and go say, you know what, I'm going to go against Max Scherzer. But that Nationals lineup, to me, I don't love it. Sometimes it seems like it's more or less a 2, 3, or 4 run type of lineup. Can the Tampa Bay team outlast Scherzer, get into the bullpen, and make it a 50-50 game? And what do we see out of Eovaldi tonight, Jeff, after his sensational, comeback to baseball after almost 2 years?
Yeah, I got to look under here. I mean, Washington's not a particularly good lineup, frankly. Both these pitching staffs have been very good lately. The big wild card's Eovaldi, but Eovaldi's an interesting character. He throws hard. He gets you to strike out a lot. That's normally his thing. He's a hard thrower, one of the hardest throwers in the league. This is probably one I'd lean under with. Scherzer's always very good, as we know. I don't know if we'll have a ton of trouble with this lineup. And with the way Washington doesn't hit, wouldn't surprise me if Eovaldi spins another good one here.
All right, a couple games for you to chew on with knowledge. Again, me and Jeff will be available all day on Twitter. You have any questions out there? Just like last night, I might send out some cryptic messages there, Jeff, due to like, hey, a little McDonald's money tonight. A couple people hit me up with the games. We ended up actually picking up a little bit of money yesterday. But we want to get there. There's about 2 to 3 minutes left, Jeff. Top 5 list for the day. NBA players.
You know what,
keep
Donnie?
in mind, folks.
We're not going to rush this. This needs to take more than 4 minutes. Let's, on Thursday, we'll get back to this. We'll make it a point at 10:40. No, I'm not. Listen, this needs more than 3 minutes. Listen. I'm gonna make this ploy out there right now. We need more than 55 minutes. It's just to happen.
No, we don't. I want 35 minutes, Jeff. I want 35.
Well, then I'll get a new show with myself. Listen, we need more time than 3 minutes to talk about my favorite players ever. I think it deserves more time than that. So we'll get to it on Thursday. We'll just chat, for the last 2 or 3 minutes here with people. I don't want to rush this. These lists are fun. It's important to get the chat's opinion. See what they like. There's just not a ton of time. Any NBA advice for early game? No. Listen. We need to stop betting stuff just because it's on TV. I mean, do we have to bet the WNBA at 11 a.m.?
Is it on TV at 11 a.m.? Is it even on TV?
Yeah, Probably not. People actually probably will pay to watch this on the internet somewhere, which is probably not a great idea. Yeah, listen, I
But yeah,
don't
Jeff brings
unfortunately.
up a good point. Brings up a good point here. Like now that legalized gambling is going to filter through all 50 states, or I always like to leave out Utah just because they're their own country in itself. It seems like sometimes. But when you look at it, is baseball going to capitalize on this? Is the NFL? Is anybody going to say, you know what? How about this? We're going to put a baseball game on at 11 a.m. every single day just to get that betting market because how many
Yeah,
more bets will come in on that game, Jeff? Unbelievable amounts.
no, that's a great point. I would do it.
Yeah,
Sure.
me too. I
Chris
would love
Carter,
it.
is that any chance you guys do a boxing segment? I have to check with our program director, Chris. I got to see if there's a video
We've
this
had
week.
Hall of
I don't know.
Famers on, Jeff. We've had Hall of Famers on before.
Sure, we have, and that's the thing about the late night games. We actually had Al Bernstein on a couple different times. Al's a good friend. He's a nice guy. He's very nice to Donnie and I. But I have to check with Sophia and see if there's a boxing video this week. I don't know if Peter Loshak will be doing it or not. If he doesn't do it, I'd be glad to do one with Alec or from with Andreas Hale, who does fighting here at the channels. Got a big weekend of fights. Fury. You got Crawford Horn. Yeah, I'm sure we'll find a way to add that in. No problem. Everyone have a great day. We hope you enjoyed the show. We'll be back at it tomorrow with the roundtable, weekly roundtable. Donnie, me, Ian, and Drew Martin. We'll get back Thursday with more. We'll talk NBA Game 3. That'll be past us, and we'll talk our favorite NBA players as well. Everyone have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow on the roundtable.